Hello and welcome to Be Confused with your anonymous host.
Hello.
The audio today is going to sound very weird because I forgot the mics.
And we're having like a live session, basically.
Yeah.
Not a live session, we're doing it on Thursday. That's what I mean.
So I just stormed into her office and say, hey, we're doing this now.
Yeah. So hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Today I just gave a presentation. So as part of I'm in a scholarship that I don't know how I ended up there. It's
the domestic violence
The domestic violence one.
Okay.
They trained me to provide a training.
Okay.
And I provided a domestic violence training, to an office that literally works with victims of abuse. So I feel like I was teaching. It's like me coming to you.
Mm-hmm. Teaching me about counseling.
I took a quick course on counseling, and you have a master's on it.
Why would you do that?
I don't. It's a training that they gave me. It's specifically for people. It's not. They don't give it to anyone because they only do it for MSWs, students of social work, and they're a little bit further on in the semester. So technically, yeah, we're qualified. You know, we're almost on our masters. They give us that training to provide it to agencies. They give us like updated information, and sometimes some of them they say that they never heard of some things, so it was good.
So they actually learned something.
They actually learned something, yeah.
Good.
So most of it, they already know since they work in the field and all that. But you know, this field is always changing. There's new stuff. I got to show the video. Have you seen the video about the consent video about the tea?
I think I shared it with you.
No, well, I saw it before. I saw it like in 12th grade, here, and many of them didn't see it. Huh?
What year was 12th grade?
When I was in 12th grade.
What year was that?
2017.
I definitely saw it before you.
Obviously, because you're older.
Mm-hmm.
You look great though.
Thanks. Thank you.
But what was I saying?
That you showed them the tea video.
Oh, and they loved it. They loved it. I said, hey, this is a really good resource, a really fun way to explain consent to a young audience. Share with your, and they were really. I think that was the biggest take.
So explain the video for our listeners.
So the video, it talks about consent, and instead of using the word sex, they use the word tea. So
because consent can go for anything, it doesn't have to be sex.
So exactly. And so it basically talks about how you cannot force anyone to have tea. You know, and sometimes someone might say, you know what, I want tea, and then the person might change their mind. Hey, you know what, I don't want tea.
You sound like the video.
Really? And then the person. You know, it is annoying. You went through all the trouble to make tea, you know, boil the water and all that. And then gonna give the tea to the person. They don't want tea. Sure, it's annoying, but you shouldn't force the tea to the person's throat.
Yeah.
So
if they're unconscious, you don't make them drink tea.
No, because they're unconscious. Who drinks tea if they're unconscious?
Sometimes they can start drinking the tea and they decide to not finish the tea, and that's okay as well. Or
sometimes they say, you know what, I want some tea, and then they're unconscious. And either way, even though they said they wanted tea when they were conscious, you know, they're unconscious now. So unconscious people don't want tea.
And maybe they wanted tea last week, but they don't want tea this week.
Exactly. Just because she had tea every day last week, I mean, that person had tea every day last week, doesn't mean that she's going to want it every day for the rest of the month.
Good job.
So, yeah.
So that's consent, guys. It's really that simple.
Yeah, it is. It is. And if it goes that way for tea, it should be the same way for sex.
Yeah, I think also we need to look at consent in different ways. I think consent and sex are like used in like tandem, but consent is just for anything.
For anything. What am I saying? Why limited to sex? Why limited? Is that
why you should consent to life? Like you should do life with consent. Choose to go to the grocery store, choose to eat healthy, choose to work out, whatever it is. And I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, no, I was trying to say, oh man, she's going somewhere. But then didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
I just wasn't ready for this. Okay.
No, it's okay.
What are we talking about today?
So
I'm feeling fine too.
How are you? Yeah, I was going to say that. How are you?
My client canceled today, so I have one later.
Oh.
Yeah. But I have some time now.
Okay.
So I'm free.
How do you prepare before each session?
I don't.
You don't? You just wing it?
For evaluations, I do prepare. I have some questions.
Yeah, but for clients, for counseling,
client,
like what is your mental process? How do you how do you, okay, I'm going to see this client. I'm going to, okay, I need to be in this space. So you usually know the client, you know if they're defensive, you know if you need to literally take the words out of their mouth. So how do you prepare?
I think the only thing I do is like when I'm seeing a client in person, I take a deep breath before I open the door. And that actually works. And then before I log on for virtual sessions, I do that too.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
So you breathe.
I meet my clients where they're at. I'm not trying to, maybe the thing that we were talking about last time they don't want to talk about anymore or whatever. And then while we're talking, you're not
going to force them to talk.
No, but while we're talking, I'll be
Consent.
like, oh yeah, you mentioned last week that your mom died. Do you want to talk about that this week?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I don't want to. Okay, that's fine.
So look at that. There's even consent in that. You need to...
Yeah.
Yeah. The person needs to want to talk about something or needs to want to change before they make a change. It's up to them.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I was letting you go.
Yeah.
Oh, those are nice shoes. Are those
Thank
new?
you. I got them at
Look, you still have
Ross.
the plastic thing on it.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I got them at Ross because I got my Air Force Ones. This is my second pair of Air Force Ones, and I fucked them up because they're white.
Are they?
Air Force One?
Yeah.
These are not Air Force One.
Okay, because I see.
No, so you didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm on my second pair of Air Force Ones, and I fucked them up because I get them all dirty, and then you know what happened? I was taking really good care of them.
Uh-huh.
I was walking to my apartment. In my apartment, there's a lot of ducks. I step on duck crap when I go to take it off. Did you know that duck crap it stains and it doesn't go?
But it's on the bottom of the shoe.
No, on the side.
Why did you step?
I didn't notice it until the next
thick?
morning, and yeah, it was a huge duck crap.
And you didn't see it?
I didn't notice it. I looked at it when I woke up the next morning. I'm gonna put my shoe, and I see this ball of crap in my shoe, and it's duck crap. I know it because I see a lot of duck crap in my apartment outside, not inside.
Take a shot for every time he says duck crap.
And when I wipe it off, there's a green stain. I said, okay, let me get my shoe cleaner kit. And I clean my shoe, and it's green. It's a circle. I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
It's a stain. Actually, I'm going to try. Well, I'm going to have time to.
Do you have the video?
No.
Are you going home?
Yeah, but I get home late. But anyway, if any of you know something that removes duck shit out of shoes, because it's like a green stain on the side of the shoe. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't come out with anything.
Mm-hmm. So to our 6 followers,
yeah.
Please let us know about your shoe cleaning hacks.
Because, I'm on my second pair, and instead of buying my third pair of Air Force Ones, I just bought...
These are cute.
Yeah, I saw these, and they're Levi. So they're not,
But they look like them. Does it matter? Does it matter to you?
No. It doesn't matter to me. I like the style of the Air Force Ones, mm-hmm. and this is pretty close. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm gonna buy a third pair of Air Force Ones. I'm gonna take better care of them.
Okay. What did we want to talk about today? We were talking about white people.
White people.
Proximity to whiteness. That's what we were talking about yesterday. We can talk.
Yeah. You
want to talk or you want to talk?
No, talk about that. It's interesting.
Okay, so what is your understanding of proximity to whiteness?
Okay, so now that since we talked about it yesterday, I understand it a little bit more.
Did you do any research?
No.
Good, that's fine. We'll just figure it out. Our disclaimer. You know what it is.
Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about, but we kind of know sometimes.
Sometimes.
But we don't know. So proximity to whiteness, I think, is not only based on skin color. Mm-hmm. I think it's based on socially, where you stand socially, and the benefits that you have. What's the word?
The benefits, I think.
No, yeah, but there's a better word.
Privilege,
the privilege that you have. For example,
to be closer to whiteness.
For example, okay. I am Puerto Rican. My dad is brown. My mom is white. However, my skin color is white. Mm-hmm. That in itself gives me certain, what's the word again? Privileges.
Because you're white passing until you open your mouth.
Until I open my mouth.
Yeah. You can be confused as a white person.
Yeah. So I do have privileges, and also by being a man, I have privileges as well. even though I'm a minority in the United States.
Well, I was thinking, and we can talk about this. So there's this wheel, intersectionality wheel of privilege. And I wanted to do an activity.
Very fast.
An activity for our office for us to identify our power.
We could do that in one of the meetings. That, that's some... Yeah.
Because
that's
I think
awesome.
it would be good because some people will have more centered power identities. Some people will have more on the outside where it's more marginalized.
More what?
Marginalized.
Okay.
I messed up. And I think it's also cool because there will be some things that you're like, oh, I didn't know that I was, I guess, more powerful than I
think
realized.
I was shown this in a class.
Yeah, there's a different one. This has 18 different things. And then there's also like extra credit. So like if you're incarcerated, number of kids, type of kids, your dominant hand, that's a privilege if you are right-handed.
I was born left-handed, but my dad forced me to learn.
Yeah. Well, you were marginalized.
Yeah.
You were forced into
right-handedness. I was forced into right-handedness, yeah.
Wow.
I'm not able to be my true self.
Do you want to talk about that?
No.
Okay.
People back, they used to say, I don't think the joke translates well on English, but they say that lefties don't go straight to hell. I mean, don't go straight to heaven, because in Spanish straight is derecho. Derecho means like right.
Straight.
So
straight is derecho. Derecho.
Derecho, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was right. I didn't know
I mean,
straight
both
was also
both,
right
yeah,
too.
Both
I didn't
words,
know that.
Yeah. Anyway, you're not gonna get the joke.
Izquierda.
Yeah.
Izquierda.
Izquierda. Yeah.
It's
You
too many,
know who Conan O'Brien is?
Yeah.
You talk like him when you speak Spanish.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't speak like white people. Like, I'm not saying like izquierda.
Exactly, but
I don't say it like
in
that.
Conan O'Brien, he kind of, when he speaks Spanish, he talks like that.
Like what?
Like that, like izquierda.
Izquierda.
Yeah, like they try too hard. Yeah.
I don't try too hard. I think I try to get it right.
I'll show you a video.
It's okay.
Okay, I was seeing Conan Without Borders on HBO Max, and when he went to Cuba, that episode is really good.
Okay.
I like Conan O'Brien.
What were we talking about though? Oh, so proximity to whiteness. So within the wheel of the intersectionality wheel of privilege, we have salaried people, citizens, homeowners, adults, rich, Christian, white, stable, neurotypical, monogamous, heterosexual. So there's a lot of different things that I think if we are able to recognize our privilege, we will also operate from a different place, hopefully. Maybe we can take this out. But, so there's 2 darker people where I work.
Uh-huh.
Me and somebody else. And this is not racism. But we're in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to be here, so it's not racism. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. I think it's colorism when we get confused for each other by specific people. Because one person has a cane, one person has glasses on, one person... Like, I think there are differences other than skin color that you can pick up on. And when we're confused, I think the people that are confusing us are doing it because of skin color. And I think that's something that we need to identify within ourselves, that we're just, like, I don't confuse you for the other person right next to your office or the other person in the admin. I don't generalize you guys like they're Spanish people, Spanish men.
No, and I agree. And there's
is that me being like picky?
No, I think I do believe that exists, and I think it's what's the name? Something prejudice, implicit
bias,
and implicit prejudice, implicit biases, explicit prejudice, explicit biases,
internal biases.
Implicit is when it's internal, well, you're not aware of it. Explicit is when you are aware of it and you
still do it. Okay, okay.
So I do think I think it could be that know, unintentionally we are wired.
To
this, and it's not until we see it, we identify it, that and we make the conscious decision to do it, when it becomes explicit, or we break that implicit prejudice.
So the thing is, as a brown woman, I would have to bring that up.
But I also believe that sometimes, and I think this is the least, I think more common is the implicit and explicit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I do think sometimes it's just coincidence to say something. You don't think? Not coincident, but unintentional.
I think it's a coincidence that we're both back here.
No, because
there, I chose it, and this.
Over there.
No, I chose it, and that person has a straight way to get out. So it makes sense. That's just a coincidence that we happen to be out here. I think confusing me for that other person.
They confuse you?
Once.
Okay.
But it stuck with me because I know that it's not. This person has a fucking cane. Like, I wasn't walking around with a stick or something, like a pencil even, for it to be confused. Mm-hmm. But it was a little bit dark. The light wasn't on.
I think it's like I see it sometimes as, for example, some people have called here and say, hey, so I was speaking to this guy, he has an accent, he's white, I think it was you. They confused me with because we're both guys.
So that is. So and what are you saying that is?
I think that's they're minimizing the options of. Okay, I talked to. It's easier to categorize to get your answer or to get what you're looking for. So they know that you were. So your client might know that you were the counselor here. I mean, they remember you because you're brown, or they remember me because I'm white, and they said, okay, it's either there's two brown people here, so the answer might be either her or her. There's multiple white people here, so it's harder to generalize.
And I don't feel like people say like, oh, the white man or the white woman. They're like, oh, the black girl or the brown girl. So there's always that distinction with otherness. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it shouldn't be that way.
What needs to be addressed, but because it's not harmful, like, oh, are you this person or are you that person? That's not harmful to me.
What do you think about this? I've heard people say, like, it is harmful to assume that someone referring to someone as the black guy is harmful.
Why?
Because we are stigmatizing the word black or brown as something negative.
As something other.
Because we're assuming that they're doing it in a negative term, so therefore we are making it negative. I don't, like, do you agree with that? I don't agree with that.
We associate black and brownness with a negative thing. So when you say the black or brown person, then there's a negative connotation with whatever you're saying afterwards.
Because the logic for people that get offended when they're called out is that, well, I had nothing negative when I said it, and they might argue that you're the one making it negative by assuming that they're saying something negative by saying black or brown.
Yeah,
that's referring to someone.
So this is a different thing, but I think this is also like white privilege / financial privilege. There's a person that I know that is well off, and when I was concerned with what's going on in politics and all that stuff, they were like, oh, like, it's just a pendulum, like, it goes bad and it goes good, and like, I'm just going to take this time to work on myself, and I'm going to do my steps, and I'm going to read books and stuff like that. Okay, and I'm fucking scared as a brown woman. And then they're taking some time off because they are an immigrant and they're scared. And they went on vacation and they were talking about how scary it was crossing back to the United States and how scared they were, and they deleted all of their text messages and stuff. And I'm like, oh, what if I just told you it was a pendulum and you'll be fine? Like, I think a lot of people from a place of privilege get to dismiss marginalized people's emotions, fears, whatever it is. And when they're in the same position, it's like, oh my God, everything's falling apart. How many times?
No, 19 minutes. No, I just looked at the time because this is a really good clip. clip this part. We need to maybe start doing like an Instagram or something to put clips of
I'm
the
not
most
on
important
social media.
things.
I'm trying to get
Because
off of TikTok.
what you just said, I think it's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, I feel like if I were to bring it up to that person, it could be misconstrued. And that's because, but the thing is, marginalized people have to hold these people with power together and treat them with fucking like kid gloves. You have the power. You told me when I was afraid that it's just a pendulum and it gets really bad and it gets really good and we'll all be fine. No, I don't have money. I don't have the resources like you do. And the thing is, I like this person, but I feel like that would be a source of contention. What are your thoughts?
No, I think you just said it perfectly. The situations hit differently when you're the one there.
Yeah.
And there's a famous quote that I really, really like, and it's let me look for it. And the quote is, "First, they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out, because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist, and I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." This was a quote by Martin, how do you say that last name?
Niemöller? I don't know.
Martin Niemöller. I'm sorry if we butcher his name. But yes, I think this is what you're saying, we don't realize what people go through until we're going it through ourselves. And sometimes it's too late for someone to speak out for us because we were not there to support the others and validate others.
Where's the empathy, though?
Yeah.
Like, I think that this person was like, oh, I'm being empathetic. But at the same time, they were dismissing me. Oh, it's just a pendulum. It'll go from here to here. And I had to sit there and be like, okay, yeah. Because what am I going to do?
Yeah.
But with the wheel of privilege, this outer ring, the marginalized and the erased ring, they're just buffers until whatever comes to you, to the white privilege. But I think people don't recognize and realize that. And until we do, people are going to die.
And that's all for To Be Confused. Thank you for joining. Comment, follow, share our account. What's the other thing? Like,
tell
subscribe.
People about it. Tell them that you don't know who we are, but we just have a lot of things. So
yeah, and we're starting slow. It's been doing this for a while. We don't have many resources. The audio doesn't sound great sometimes. But if you follow us, if you subscribe, if you like, we might be able to upgrade all this a little bit. We might even have it in other platforms. We might even add video. We might reveal our identities. So please,
once we get $1 million
no,
each, we'll reveal our
1,000 subscribers. No, 10,000 subscribers.
No, that's not enough.
No,
to reveal my identity.
It's enough for me.
I think the whole thing that we're doing is good because we're anonymous. It adds a little.
Okay, we'll figure something out with a video and something that at least
you'll get a prize if you share.
Yeah.
Our okay. So the quote of the day is: "It takes immeasurable bravery to survive everything you have and retain your kindness, patience, and humanity. You are doing amazing.
You got this."
Bye.
Bye. Hello.